Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have the blank. This looks close to a bingo. So, do I have one? I haven't seen one yet. I'm going to run through the alphabet and see if anything comes to mind. I note that I've got the ED ending. Nothing so far. 2D's not particularly helpful, so there may be nothing here. But I wouldn't want to miss something. A bingo at the beginning is always a good start. Now, what about wandled? I think that's good. I will certainly try it. I think it may be a new word, as in it came in the last update. Haven't seen anything else. End ward, possibly. Okay, so wandled it is. And we'll see if this stays on. If it does, I've got a pretty good rack. Swedger is good. Nowhere for that on the board at the moment. I have ragweeds through the A of wandled. And I may have other bingos. Wandled, if it is good, doesn't take anything at the beginning or the end. Swedger has no anagrams. Ah, now this is annoying because Swedger has no spot for playing and ragweeds has been blocked. That is annoying. So I now need to find a bingo through one of the other floaters. And many of them duplicate a tile on my rack, so I can't see anything through the W. Does ragweeds have an anagram? Don't think it does, but it might. Can't see anything with the D. Or the L. Or the D. Now, am I sure that Swedger doesn't play? Yes, I am. So, somewhat annoyingly, I'm going to have to play a non-bingo. Unless ragweeds has an anagram. Now, what I want to play off is the W and the G. They're non-synergetic. I'm looking in column 5 to see if I can play through the A. Which would involve my G or my D being in front of it. Okay, I can't see a spot for that. What about playing wedge across here? It gets rid of the W and the G. It does wreck the rack somewhat. It would have been nicer to have retained one of the E's and possibly the D. 27 points is a good score. Now my rack is non-bingo-y, but I have scoring tiles in the H and the Y. The Y is the less bingo-y of the two, so I'd like to play that off with one of the I's. Now I note that Q takes an I after it, so I may have a play in column 7. But I don't have anything which goes after the I apart from the S, so that's unlikely. It's possible there is an 8-letter bingo with this rack, but I haven't seen one. Now my opponent opens up a new hotspot in column 8 for a 5-letter play. I can't see such a play. And looking in row H, I can't see a play which plays off the Y and the I. So I may not be able to achieve everything I want to achieve with this move. I've got column 4 through the W to consider. That goes well with the H. Neither of my scoring tiles goes above the E. So I could play HYE, keeping double IRS. That's not a disastrous rack leave. £32 points is a good score. I couldn't see anything in column 8. Siri is good, that doesn't play there. I'm going to play high rather than hey because the E, although it's helpful to my opponent, helps me as well. Great, I don't draw any more I's. Can't see anything through that E. Can't see anything in column 8. What about row I? Well, nothing because I don't have anything which goes underneath the W. My F can go above ED and my I can go above the D. So I can play Phi R across here. That would be pretty good. And Phi R's actually for 3 more points. That would totally sort the rack out. I'm just wondering if there is a bingo with these tiles. It must be close. There's the floating L to consider. And the A. Okay, nice bingo by my opponent. Which my E gifted him. So my fire spot stays available. But I can't stick the S on the end, that's not a disaster. Fire for 42. Great, I have listens, silence, tinsels, enlists. Possibly one other. I have Westlands in column 4 through the W. Do I have an alternative bingo? That would stick the S in the middle of row O. Can't see anything onto this S in row B, but that would open up row A, so it wouldn't be better than Westlands. Although I am also looking for an alternative bingo. So I've got the less and ness ending. Can't see anything. Snootier doesn't take anything before or after it. Mind doesn't take anything in front of it. What are the other bingo lanes? Can't see anything ending in N or O. What about through the A of Wandled? All of my consonants go in front of IN. So Eastlands, Staniels, neither of those fit. And row I is available. But it would have to have both S's at the end, and that doesn't work. 15 minutes on my opponent's clock. Can't see anything beginning with the Y. I'm just wondering if Westlands has an anagram. I don't think twinless is good. Great. Westlands remains available. Can't see anything onto the L. And this is really going to open the board up. £74 points. Not a great pickup. Triplicate R and the U, but I do have a scoring tile in the B. And Burr is good, which would sort the rack out somewhat. Can't see anything particularly great in row O. Close to Sabiri. Row K is quite hot as a double-double row. I can't use that. Burial doesn't reach the triple word square. So at the moment I've seen absolutely nothing to do with this rack, but I note that I am 130 points ahead, which is good. Through an E I would have Buria and Beria. Now B double R and B triple R are both good, but I'd like to jettison the U as well. What about column 8? Do I have a 5-letter play? Well, I do. I have Rubai, but that does retain 2 R's. However, only 1 R to come, and it is a bingo-y tile. Borough is good, I think. B-U-R-R-A. That's a better play. Great, and it remains available. And I can also play it in row O underneath this A. 25 points in row O. 28 points in column A. Now I'm wondering if that's good. I'm having doubts about it. So what I think I'll do is just play Burr. Borough may be good, and it may be Burrow that I'm confusing it with. But I quite like playing in row O because it's taking out a bingo lane. Playing in column 8 was not taking out a bingo lane, really, and it was providing good floaters. Burr provides no floaters. So not a great score, but it still has merit. Now, do I have a play in row O which begins underneath the J? So play beginning AB. ABRI is good. That would keep RUR. Should I do that? Well, no, I don't think so, because there are 3 U's to come. That's a lot. And air is quite good. It goes quite well with the L of Lute and the T of Tinager and Westlands. I note that I could play Briar in this spot, but that is retaining the U. So this is the only decent play which burns the U and 2 R's. Well, a lot of vowels, but I did keep a vowel-heavy rack leave. Quite a few floating consonants to consider, mainly S, T, and L. Can't see anything through any of those. I do have the H for score, which is good. O higher is good. Can't see anywhere for that. I'm wondering if I have a 5-letter play. Well, nice play by my opponent. 29 points for him. He's now only 60 points behind. My H can go underneath the C, but I may wish to play in column 12. I can't see anything in row A onto this L. 11 minutes on my clock. Close to air hole. And I can't see anything good through the floaters in Westlands. Now I do have Roach in column 12. But that's keeping 3 vowels. That doesn't seem good. Is there a 5-letter play? I think there might be. But I can't see it. Now, what about playing Hoa down here? £23 points, which is okay. Rack leave, not great. I am creating a new bingo lane in column 2, but any bingo there would open column 1. Oh well, let me put this back. What about Ohio down here? I am opening up this triple word square, but a high scoring tile can't go underneath CH, although vowels can, so this may be a 30 or 40 point opening. But this sorts the rack out better than the Hoa play. AER is more manageable than this rack with one more vowel. Great, I have variole, which makes O-variole. Onto an O, neither of those are available. Violator through a T, neither T works. 24 for my opponent. Now, what are the bingos through the S? I think there are 4 of them. Varioles, valorize, oversail, volaries, so none of those work. What about the T, violator? Don't think that's got any anagrams. Well, how annoying. That's the second time this has happened this game. Having bingos that don't play. What about the U and the P? The U doesn't look great. What about the P? Can't see anything there. I'm going to struggle to play in row O because my V would need to be in last place, and I do want to play off the V. 8 minutes on my clock, 20 tiles left. I'm 60 or 70 points ahead, which is good. Up run takes nothing in front of it. Just looking around for any 7-letter lanes that I've overlooked. I don't think there are any. So, where to play this V? I'm looking at O1 to see if I can play onto this S. I'm looking to play off the V and the O and probably one more vowel. Well, what about playing a vowel over CH? Nothing goes in front of IO that I've got, so I'm looking for a play which begins with a vowel. So I could play oval. IER is vowel heavy. A lot of E's to come, no I's to come. Let me look at the overall vowel situation. 11 vowels out of 27, so it's a consonant heavy bag, so in that case EIR is okay, especially as most of the floaters are consonants with the P, S, T and T. And 32 points is a decent score. I could, however, hold back the L. £28 points. Well, the L and the R don't go well together, so I think I will stick with this plan. Great, I draw the second blank. I do have a vowel-heavy rack, but that's not too much of a problem because I can sort it out in one go, and I've got a Y for score. There may be a bingo here. Eye strain as a 9. That doesn't work. Yeastier does work. Great. That plays in row J, and the white isn't particularly dangerous. In particular, it's not opening a 9-timer. Great. Well, Yeastier's a play which sometimes I've had difficulty spotting. So hopefully that remains available. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. I'm sure I can play my Y off somewhere. Well, I could play AY and way, or Y and S. Either works quite well. Do I have an alternative? Bingo. I'm just mentally running through the alphabet. I'm up to M and I haven't seen anything. No. So all I've got is Yeastier at the moment. And that's through this S. Yeah, it would also work through a floating T if the T was in the right position, and I can't see. Well, there isn't a T which works. Ock takes a few floaters in front, in particular the R that I have. So a 7-letter play ending in R would work, but I haven't seen one. 16 tiles in the bag, 6 minutes on my clock, so no great time trouble. 11 minutes on my opponent's clock. Remaining tiles not particularly bingo-y. Great. Only 12 points for my opponent, and Yeastier remains available. No new bingo lanes. This won't be a massive score, but it's always good to get a bingo down. Yeastier 64. Pretty good. Close to a bingo. Can't see one. Probably thinking of Gallipot. And Apology. Ah, well, no, Apology doesn't go. What about Top Algae? Possibly. Anyway, I think this game is won. I'm 150 points ahead. There are only 5 titles in the bag. I can play player in column 1. No point in trying a word which can come off. No need to do that. Now, OCH takes an E after it. I don't have one of those, and it doesn't take any other vowels. Now, this double letter square could be useful for my P. I could play pet. Wow, nice score for my opponent. 48 points. He's now 100 points behind. There are 2 tiles in the bag. The remaining tiles aren't bingo-y. Although it's possible that there is one there. So how to play on? 2 tiles left. I didn't see any point in playing off just 1 tile. So I'd quite like to play off a lot of tiles to increase my chances of going out in one next go. My L can go in front of OCH. I don't have anything going underneath R, so that's just a 4-letter play. So I could play goal, which actually is quite nice. PAT is a nice 3-letter rack leave. I'm just pausing because of the Z being able to go in front of the O, but that would only score once as ZO. My opponent couldn't play parallel and get 60 or 70 points. However, am I giving him a 30-point play? I don't think so, because he could play ZE or METC in column 2. Should I be playing in column 2 to block that? So goal for 19, keeping pat, drawing 2 tiles. I probably won't go out in 1. It's only 19 points, 4 minutes on my clock. Is there a decent play in column 2? I don't have anything to go after the X. My P can go after the O. So it would be a play ending A, P. Well, I could play gallop. That might be worth doing partly because it's playing 1 more tile. So if I'm drawing 2 from the bag, I've got 4 tiles rather than 5. And it's easier to go out in 1 with that. Now, how dangerous is this G? Not at all, because none of the remaining tiles goes in front of it, so I'm not opening up this triple word square, and I've got an A which can go in front of it, so that's a selfish opening. So I quite like gallop. It's a similar score to goal. It doesn't open up anything for my opponent, and my opponent's got nothing which goes after the G. However, nor do I. But I think that's okay. That looks pretty nice. I've got teat in column 1. It doesn't reach the triple, but it is an out in 1. And teat also plays in row K, so that has worked out nicely. I am going out in 1. And my opponent's got a couple of high-scoring tiles in the Z and the K. If he can't get Zek down, I will be getting the count back for one of those tiles. And this isn't looking a great board for Zeds. I haven't really looked much for my opponent. But there's nothing obviously good for the Z. Now where's best for my out? I've got Tate and Teat. Nice score for my opponent, but he's kept the K, which is good. So I've got 3 minutes to find the best out. It is just Tate and Teat. So Teat in column 1, 11. My opponent's taken the other spot I identified. Do I have anything in row O? No. Do I have a tat? Yes, I do. Fantastic. There was a third anagram. 29 points. I'm not going to look further. I think this is likely to be best. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game, which he does. And the final score, 333 to my opponent, 457 to me, a winning margin of 124 points. So a massive, massive win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go fast. I had wandled, and that looks like it was the only bingo. So pleased to have spotted that. My opponent has the Q, plays chin. And there was a bingo through the L, the Gelds. Tricky one to see. I missed it. Instead, what did I do? I played wedge for 27. Yeah, that's fine. There's plays which score more. Burn the S. My opponent plays mind. This was my rack, and hey ear. Playable through the A, making hin. A nice play, retaining a good 2-letter rack leave. Instead, I played high for 2 more points. That's keeping duplicate I, and that duplicate I is costing me 5 points. So I think high is slightly inferior to hey, but not much. Nice rack for my opponent. He has 2 bingos. I thought he might have more. Where was monitors playable? Beginning with the M of mind. My rack, I didn't miss a bingo, and I played fire for 42. I think that's best. My opponent's rack, he plays loot, and I have a great rack. I have Westlands. What I didn't see was lintless. Down from the Earl of Wandled for the same score, and Salients and Saltines in column 5. But I suspect all of those bingos are fairly close. My opponent has Tinager, which was, I didn't realise at the time, was a pretty good score, 58 points. Now, was Borough good? It doesn't look like it. And really looking down this list, look at the rack leaves, pretty awful. I played Burr, AIR, and I think AIR is the best of the rack leaves available here. So, happy with Burr. It does also take out a hot bingo lane. My opponent has a pretty awful rack, but he resolves that very nicely with Fundick. Now, this was my rack. There was a 5-letter play, Aroha, in column 8, placing the H on this double-letter square for 40 points, so pretty good. Instead, I played Ohio for 23, an inferior play. Despite having a better rack leave, it's not 17 points better. My opponent's rack, not very nice. So that was pretty unlucky. He had a horrible rack with Fundick, sorted it out very well, but then drew badly. Had an up run again, sorts the rack out nicely. Now, this is my rack. Did I miss a bingo? No, I didn't. I played Oval for 32, and that looks fine. My opponent, not a nice rack. He plays Cuvée, and then I have Yeastia, and there were no other bingos. My opponent has M boxes. Nowhere to play that, I don't think. So Boxy was best. This was my rack. Now, there were 2 in the bag at this point. Tapalo, B2. Quite nice, 24 points. What did I do? Well, I played Gallop, and I like that because I'm keeping only 2 tiles. So I'm in good shape for going out in 1. I think most of these rack leaves here are unlikely to go out in 1 next go. Now my opponent plays Metsies for 38, which was a nice play. And finally I have a Tat for 29, which was best. So pretty exciting game. Nice to get a few bingos down, especially Wandled, which was slightly obscure, and overall reasonably interesting. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.